What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Madden 18 video. Today we're going to go on ahead and discuss the patch notes that came out yesterday, the new MUT abilities that are coming out, and how this is not only going to affect future gameplay, but how it's going to affect gameplay that already was, patched, present. So it's just a lot of things are going on with this patch that are really so many things to talk about, man. So many things that I don't want to be true, but I feel like is happening, and it's very, very, very unfortunate. Let me open up this tab on Twitter one time. So first, let's go ahead and talk about the patch notes. So these are the newest features that they enlisted. Long shot game reward. Play any scene of long shot once you have completed the story mode. Squad seasons. Play seasons in MUT squads. MUT champions monthly leaderboards. See how you stack up on a monthly basis in MUT champions. MUT champions lineup restrictions. MUT champion events can now support lineup restrictions in the future. Tournament official rules. View and agree to the official rules of the competitive Madden. And video player UI tiles can now trigger videos. So now let's get into the top 6 fixes and updates. So right here is what we're going to look at, the top 6. Fixed issue with players recovering a fumble and not being able to be tackled. So we all seen plenty of glitches on Twitter, on YouTube, where there's a fumble and the guy who recovers the ball is just untackleable. We've all seen that. That's been fixed. So right here, tuning to decrease hit stick and cut stick fumbles globally. Now that right there to me is an issue, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Fixed an issue with receivers assigned to a bubble screen running the incorrect route. If you ever run a bubble screen, the guy didn't kind of do like a U-shaped screen behind the blockers. He literally just ran like a slant directly towards out of bounds. If you've ever ran one, you'll notice it was never, it was crazy. Fixed an issue where the QB could not dive while scrambling. Fixed issue where the gun monster formation was leading to pancake blocks by the offensive line. Added several new chemistries to MUT. Now here's where the issue lies. These are the brand new chemistries that will be coming in Ultimate Team. Unfakeable, Secure Tackler, which is already in there but it's been upgraded, Footsteps, Situational Pass Rusher, Primetime Protector, Lead the Way, and INT Specialist. Now let's go ahead and talk about Unfakeable. When user controlled, player does not get faked out by ball carrier moves. When AI controlled, can only be faked out by tier 1 moves. So let's say they consider tier 1 moves 87 or higher. Let's say if your running back has an 87 overall spin move, and you have a secure, if you have an unfakeable defender and the computer is attacking the ball carrier and he spins, because he meets that tier 1 threshold, the AI he can still get juked out. But if you're user controlling him, you won't get juked out. You're not going to get juked out by spins or juking if you are user controlling him. Does not get faked out. Which is a problem because we all know that juking is far OP. Right? One juke will have 3 guys stumbling on the ground. One juke will have guys behind them stumbling and falling. So instead of fixing it, they make a chemistry to address the issue. Like, well, now there's a chemistry where if you want to not be faked out by jukes, get this chemistry. Secure Tackler. When user controlled, player does not allow broken tackles. When AI controlled, can only allow broken tackles to tier 1 moves. So it's the same situation. If Brian Urlacher, who has secure tackle, if you user control him, there's no broken tackles. As soon as you dive and you land, you make contact, they're guaranteed to go down, right? Because it said player does not allow broken tackles. Doesn't say it increases your chances. It flat out does not allow it. So if you click on to somebody who has secure tackle and you go for the tackle and you make contact, they're going down. There is no, as far as I understand, there's no battle ready. They cannot break the tackle. But if they're AI controlled, they can only tackles be broken by tier 1 moves. Footsteps. Defensive players that will apply a higher catch penalty to receivers when they are near the receiver during the catch point. So let's say Brian Dawkins has footsteps. I don't know if he's in this game, but I'm just using the name for an example. Or let's just say Sean Taylor, because he's in this game. If Sean Taylor has footsteps and he's near a receiver about to make a catch and he has footsteps, it will apply a higher catch penalty to the receiver when he's near them. We don't know what the gap is. We don't know if it's 5 feet, if it's 3 feet, if it's in lunge distance, if he's close enough to tackle him, or if he's... We don't know the range. But we do know there's a chemistry that will make somebody, if they're in the vicinity, is going to apply a higher catch penalty to the receiver. Situational pass rusher. When pass rushing, these players receive a boost to pass rush success chance on 3rd and 4th and long situations. And then there's primetime protectors to counteract the situational pass rusher. And these blockers excel at pass blocking in 3rd and 4th and long situations. Lead the way. This is my favorite one of the group. These blockers are more likely to succeed at run blocking when in a pull or lead block assignment. But in my, I would like to think that the highest overall guy should already do that. Like, I shouldn't need a lead the way chemistry. Like, oh, this guy does a very good job when he's pulling. He has a higher chance of connecting the block. Shouldn't Larry Allen have a higher chance of making that since he's 91 in run block and all this stuff, and he has high awareness? Like, shouldn't that be the case already? Like, why do I need special chem cards to do things that the higher overall should already do? That's just my opinion, but you know what? I like it, because I run the ball a lot. INT specialists. These defenders are far less likely to drop interceptions unless the ball is tipped. So these guys, again, are less likely to drop interceptions. And we're going to get into that in a second, believe me. Visual added some stuff we don't really care about. Let's just get right into the gameplay. Fixed addressed many exploit blitzes that deal with QB-contained players and locking the tackles. That has been fixed. There's no more locking tackles. That's been addressed, which needed to be because that was retarded. Addressed an issue around the bad ball hawk user banner triggering incorrectly. Addressed an issue where the spot of the ball would be incorrect after a muff punt. Addressed an issue around defensive pass interference catch animations triggering incorrectly in the competitive game style. Fixed an issue around the gauntlet skill trainers stopping at level 39. Fixed an issue around the gunslinger trait sometimes not functioning correctly. So now anybody with gunslinger, you're going to get that quick animation all the time now. Fixed the issue where players recovering a fumble not being tackled. We said that already. Addressed the issue around the camera being reset after kicking play in mud squads. Fixed exploit around playmaker mechanic while using target passing. We talked about the bubble screen. Fixed animation issue with cut blocks. Added time rumble to kick meter when enabling accessibility options. Fixed an issue where a user would be unable to call a timeout after the opponent had called the previous timeout. That right there was very frustrating. You couldn't ice somebody. If they called a timeout, you just couldn't call a timeout yourself. And that's been fixed. Fixed an exploit blitz out of 3-4 under. Tuning to diving catches on competitive game style. Fixed an issue where the defense could reset the offense ID mic via reset play mechanic. I didn't even know that was a thing. Added penalties to users who... ID the mic is usually the last thing somebody does anyways. So if you set up a blitz and then you reset your defense, all your adjustments are just going to go away. And unless the first thing you did was... ID the mic is the last thing I did. So I would have never had an issue with that. Like, as soon as I ID the mic, I'm hiking the ball right away. So... But I can see that being an issue if that's the first thing you did, and then they reset the defensive play, and then they made their adjustments, and your ID didn't work. I didn't even know that was a thing. Added penalties to users who use the L1 computer assistance mechanic on competitive game style. Tuning to reach tackles attempted by defenders being blocked by receivers. Address clock issues in overtime. Fix an issue where QB could not dive while scrambling. Added additional thresholds for broken sacks on competitive game style. Thresholds for hit stick fumbles. Thresholds for auto broken tackles. Thresholds for AI strip ball attempts. Tuning to increase inaccurate throws when using non-QBs at the QB position. Address 2 exploits around receiver motions that force defensive backs out of the coverage assignment. There's a ton of things as you can see here. Addressed an issue of receivers freezing at line in mud squads. Reduce frequency of illegal block and back penalties in simulation game style. Fixed issue where the gun monster formation was leading the pancake. We talked about that. Fixed issue around fumble recoveries not being tracked correctly by stats menu. Tuning to improve man coverage defenders getting beat deep by slower receivers. Tuning to decrease hit stick and cut stick fumbles globally. Added a banner that triggers when a player with a low catch rating drops a pass or interception. Added a banner that triggers an AI with a high hit power causes a big hit fumble. These banners are just very, very frustrating to just see. Added a banner, a strip ball called strip. Improve the muck chemistry abilities graphics. The ability graphic will now be a chemistry blue when it flickers. It will also show the symbol of the ability that is triggered in the player ring. Added the ability to create more complex rules for set and lineup restrictions. Added several new chemistries the month. We talked about those in franchise. I don't do franchise, but for those of you who do, fix issue around incorrect amount of XP being spent when purchasing traits. Tune the speed of regression for running backs in offline franchise. Excuse me. Added Vegas as a relocation option for offline franchises. Fixed screen not properly scaling when viewing in 4K. Updated player and coach career stats and legacy scores in franchise mode. Fixed an issue where boss spotting multiple issues addressed in franchise Twitter feed. Address issue with create a player right arm sleeve would not appear in franchise. Address issue around wide receiver off the line mechanics. Color rush games will now have correct uniforms and play now live Thursday primetime games. Field roster setting has been fixed on high auto sign free agent. Fixed an issue where injured players would appear as healthy in franchise games. The team tab depth chart now correctly reorders itself when returning a player early from injury. Address an issue where strong safety, free safety having a season goal of 0+ interceptions. So those right there are the updates. Now, this is the situation. Nobody likes this patch, right? And it looks like they came out with a team of the week, Cam Newton. Okay. Get yourself a Cam, watch him overthrow some drags for you. Yeah, nobody likes this patch. Nobody. I went ahead and I played, because I played my games early in the morning. So the games yesterday I played were before the patch came out. And today I played my first games of the patch. And let me see, where's this right here? Oh, no, not right there. Right here. This is what I tweeted out. First game with the new patch. I'm convinced this is to make us want INT specialist cam when it comes out. Rodney Harrison, the highest overall strong safety in the game, drops a pick, and I get the banner for low catch rate. The guy made a flat-out terrible read this game.
Oh my God!
The guy
no catch rating.
He flat-out made a terrible read, and my guy just
oh my God!
No
catch rating.
Before the patch, I don't remember guys just dropping picks like this. Like,
oh my God! No catch rating.
Rarely happened. I mean, on my other team, it happens, and I get it. But here, this is the
oh my God! No catch rating.
And he's gonna flat out drop an easy pick six. But you know,
oh my God!
Happen, so
no catch rating.
But then the more feedback I see is more and more people are dropping interceptions. And this is what people are starting to say. And I don't know if this is true or not. Right here, you guys like the new patch. Almost 1,000 votes. 50% people just say no. I don't know anybody who likes it personally. Okay, let's look at this thread right here. So this guy hits me up and he says, "Come on now," because I said first game, you know, and this is probably to make us want INT specialists. Come on now, y'all gonna just start tuning the game to make new content more desirable. LOL. Is it possible that they are dropping traits to make these new chemistries more desirable? If you're gonna drop interceptions, I want INT specialists now, because I don't want my guys dropping picks. I don't want my quarterback overthrowing passes if they come out with some type of chemistry to not have that happen. Now I heard everybody's overthrowing passes. Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, I heard everybody is overthrowing passes. And this is just, and then I hit up C-Mad, who's always in, you know, the economics of MUT. He's always in like the real stocks, and he listens to like the conference calls of the CEOs and all that stuff. And I said, anybody else feel this is a possibility? And he says, speaking from a sales perspective, yes, I can absolutely see that being a real possibility. In fact, the real question is whether it was planned prior to release or if it was an impromptu tactic to increase revenue in the fourth quarter. And I hit up CMAD because that's, you know, the guy I go to whenever I, you know, I'm looking for like an answer from somebody who is always looking at the conference calls and looking into the higher ups, the suits as we call them. You know, he's an investor himself. He owns stock there, so he has access to these calls and stuff like that. And he said it's a result of Wilson's strategy to increase Ultimate sales to $1 billion this year. No doubt about that. I would love to know how much the digital revenue is. If I had to guess, I'd say between yada yada yada. They would say FIFA Lions shared, followed by Madden, and he actually went in and said like a bunch of stuff. Let me see if I can find his tweets. I probably should have just clicked on his name, right? That would have made things a lot easier. Okay, here we go. This thread is longer. EA is in his third quarter. September ended 2nd. It's in his third quarter. September ended 2nd. They don't run a January-December financial calendar. Timing of these new trait items matches a sales strategy. So we're at the beginning of their quarter 3. Yeah, this definitely appears to be a strategy they're using. Tag those thoughts along with this, and you pretty much can define the cycle path. So he went ahead and have a public statement. Well, this is for the shareholders, I believe. I'm not sure what the case may be, but he says, yes, we're very excited about esports strategy and what we are doing. And we saw this in both FIFA and Madden with significantly higher engagement and monetization inside Ultimate Team for those competing in esports tournaments. And again, this isn't just about the big championship tournaments. We run a whole series of events at a grassroots level all the way to the elite level of tournaments. And so we think about this as a similar way we think about all esports, which is we want to make stars of all of our players, the novice player as well as the professional player. And while there are almost certainly be solid revenue generation from the broadcast rights, from sponsorships, from advertising, from players and teams, and the monetization of those things, the lion's share of the revenue will always be the digital transaction that exists in the ecosystem. We see that leading esport tournaments and leading esport games already. So then my guy responds, good grief, I didn't even know what to say after reading that. And he says, stock price says it all. Ultimate Teams took off around 2012 in a revenue standpoint. As Ultimate Teams grew, so did the stock price. They followed the same curve. And as you guys can see, the stock, since Ultimate Team has gotten more and more popular, is just, you know, thriving. How long do you think it'll take for them to offer Madden free of charge along the same lines as most mobile games is what I'm getting at? That's the direction it seems they're heading in. And who doesn't like something for free? Oh my God, Madden is free. That's part of their 5-year plan. Plan is you log into EA Access via subscription and just play their games. So this is why I bring this up with this whole patch. Could it be that they're making players worse to make you want new chemistries and new players? Is that a possibility? Is that a thing? Now, they say like they fixed fumbles globally, right? Everybody knows if you put your blocking, if you put your running on conservative, you never fumble. Like, I only fumbled one time since putting my blocking, my running on conservative. Literally one time with Adrian Peterson. That's it. So it doesn't matter what your carry rating is. You could run out there like a madman. The only people that will fumble is your kick return men and your quarterback. That's it. On conservative, your running backs will never fumble. I fumbled once since launch on conservative. So that means carrying doesn't matter. Hit power doesn't matter. If you are on conservative, you're never going to fumble. I've never fumbled with either team. You know, with AP, who has 80 carrying on my budget squad. Never fumbled. Never fumbled. Literally only fumbled one time out of the month and a half I've been using them. And it's just crazy to think that, you know, they want to tune fumble. Like, I think that's something that needs to be addressed. You know, believe me, I love not fumbling. But what's the point of having a Jerome Bettis with 95 carrying if somebody with 55 carrying can go on conservative and still break tackles and have the same effect as somebody with a high carrying, which is not fumbling? What's the point of having a Cam Chancellor with 95 hit power if it's basically 55 hit power, if they're never going to force a fumble? I just think that needs to change. But anyways, I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. I don't know anybody who likes this patch. The feedback I get, let's go to Joke. You know, this is somebody who's about to go to Burbank and somebody who was, you know, really testing out the patch because, of course, they drop a patch before a huge tournament. And he's very unhappy. And let's see what this is right here. I think, okay, let's see if we can just find what he says. QB overthrows, drop passes on offense, drop passes on defense. Let's see. %75% of people think the patch made it worse, and I'd probably have to be one of them, man. Like, after dropping that pick with Rodney Harrison, and Rodney Harrison is just clutch for me, man. And I looked in the game when you guys see the video, his catch, you know, low catch rating, and then it's just like, geez, I don't want this to happen. You know, I don't remember Rodney Harrison dropping a flat-out pick that was thrown directly to him. Like, nobody's around him. It's just him, and it hits him in the hands and drops. I don't remember that, you know, happening pre-patch. And then it happens the very first game I play, and it's like, geez, what do I need to not make that happen? Oh, I probably need somebody with INT specialist. Another patch right before a big event. Keep doing a great job. Another awful patch. Skimbo's not happy. Hey, let's ruin the game so we can act like we fixed it in the next year's game while adding another dumb feature. EA Logic. AKG's not happy with the game. How did they screw up the game after they fixed it from being screwed up? I agree with everybody is saying about this patch. Seems like so many drop passes right now, especially on defense. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on everything. I don't want to believe EA would do something like that, like to, you know, significantly tune things to happen to want specific chemistries. Like, in order for you to want INT specialists, in order for you to want to spend money and to get this guy, we're gonna make them drop picks. We're gonna make them drop interceptions so that they want to get these guys. And it's not just me. Everybody's telling me they're dropping picks. Everybody's telling me they're overthrowing passes. Everybody's telling me that, like, OBJ is dropping passes and is saying low catch rating when he has one of the highest catches in the game. Do you guys think this is a possibility? I don't know. I don't want it to be true. But again, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. See your boy GS, and I hope it's not true, man. But I don't know, man. It's like everything is leading up to this being a possibility of them tuning players down to make other chemistries wantable in the game. I don't know, man. If you guys have played the patch, man, let me know your thoughts and opinions on it. Again, I've only played 2 games since the patch came out. So again, man, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on everything. See your boy GS. We're going to go on there and be signing out.